What's up guys, Meredith with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we are checking out this rough country, low profile, hard trifold tonneau cover fitting all 2019 and newer Sierra 1500s with the 5.8 foot short box. And I do want to note right up front that this will not fit the models with the CarbonPro Box, so just make sure you're getting the right one for your truck. Nonetheless, you're probably here if you think that the bed of your truck looks unfinished and know that it's currently vulnerable to the elements and anybody walking by. This tonneau cover by Rough Country, however, is a great solution to both of those dilemmas, perfect for the Sierra owner who is in search of a good-looking tonneau cover to complete the appearance of their truck, but also to provide some peace of mind that the cargo in the back is covered and secure. And it's also worth noting if you're looking specifically for a hard, low-profile tonneau cover, this one will be one of your most affordable choices if you're not looking to break the bank. This bed cover will bring a number of functional characteristics to the table. First being the protection with the hard construction and weather-tight seal. So not only will weather not be able to get in, but this tonneau cover will lock with the tailgate, so you can trust that anybody without access won't be able to get into your bed. And as a bonus, being a hard cover, it will hold up to a knife, unlike other soft options. Now the cover will be super easy to operate and fold, making the system user-friendly with a pull string on the back here to unclamp each side, and a light enough construction that even if the truck is lifted, it's very easy to fold back onto itself and secure it down. Now you'll have straps to make sure that it stays secure on the back of your truck so you can drive with this open or completely shut. Now, hard tonneau covers are pretty tough, and this one is no exception. This will have high density aluminum panels and a full aluminum frame that will be durable enough to keep thieves and of course any of that inclement or poor weather out. Now speaking of aluminum, the rails will also be made of an aluminum material. It will also have this nice black powder coat on top. Both the cover and the rails will resist any corrosion with this powder coat here. Now those will also be clamp on, so you're not going to have to worry about any modification. Now this cover will also come with rubber seals on the outside to maintain a weather-tight fit, drain tube so there's no puddling on the cover as well as inside of the bed. And it's also going to come with foam on the outside to protect the tonneau cover and protect the bed so there's no damage or scratches when you install this. As far as price goes, this will cost you right around the $700 mark. Now putting this side by side with other covers, a couple things stand out, especially at this price point. One being the toughness of the cover while also maintaining the easy to use design, so it's not a hassle whenever you have to get into the bed. Now the second being the appearance, that it's flush to the sides, tying really everything together when it comes to the look of the truck. Now I think if you specifically want a low profile, hard tonneau cover for the benefits that it carries, like the security and the appearance, but want to save a few bucks, then this is going to be a great choice. Install will be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Like I said, everything is clamp on, so it's probably going to take about 30 minutes to get the job done with some basic hand tools. Now at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how to get this onto your truck at home. So that's going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you will need a ratchet, 16mm socket, angle cutters or scissors, a clip removal tool, and the provided Allen wrench. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a tonneau cover on our Sierra, so let's get started. So we're going to start off by adding some of our bracketry to our mounting rails, and you'll notice for the orientation the back of the rail has a cover on it, the front does not, so you want to make sure that lines up. So this is going to be the front, so we're putting it on this side, so we're going to add our front support bracket right here into our rail. Slide that on. Now we're just going to hand tighten this mounting screw just to hold it in place. We're not tightening anything down just yet. Then we can go ahead and do the same thing for our other rail. Then for the back side of our rails, we're going to add one of our locking latches here. That's going to go on the same way. It's going to slide into these channels, just like so. And then we'll just snug that down enough where it doesn't really move that much. Then we'll do the same thing for our other rail. Let's move that on. And just snug that down a little bit so it's not just gonna fly all over the place. So we have these rubber backing strips that are gonna go on the back of our rails in between the rail itself and the bed of the truck. So what we're gonna do is cut a few sections for each side. 6 pieces total, 3 for each side will be fine. So we've got our angle cutters, or you can use scissors, whatever you have. We're just gonna snip off some sections. So you don't have to be exactly uniform, that's totally fine. That's 3 for each side. So next we'll go ahead and remove the cover for our adhesive backing on our rubber strips here. Then once we have the cover off of the adhesive portion, we'll go ahead and stick these just intermittently along the back side of our rails. Make sure they're good. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing for the rest of our pieces. So now we're almost ready to put our rails on. Before we do so, we're gonna grab our provided drain tubes. Stick those in the front end of our rail here. Make sure these get fully seated. Then we'll do the same thing for our other rail. Now we can go ahead and set our rail in place on the edge of our bed here and make sure it is as far forward as it can possibly go. So we're gonna hold our rail in place, and we're gonna grab 2 of our clamps here that are gonna lock our rail on. I'm gonna go ahead with the mounting portion behind and slide that front portion into our rail here. We're gonna go as far forward as we can with this, right here. And we're gonna hold that in place like so. We're gonna hand tighten this for now. Now that nut on the back side of here has a retainer, so it should just hold in place. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing for our rear mount. Go ahead and get this one on. Notice this front mounting clamp here has a tongue that'll go right into that slot on our rail. We'll go as far back as we can with this one. And we'll hand tighten that. Then we can go ahead and do the same thing for our other rail. So now that we have our rails on and they're as far forward as we can go and all of our clamps are on, we'll go ahead and tighten those down with our 16mm socket on our ratchet. And we'll do the same thing for the rest of our clamps. So now we're going to go ahead and route our drain tubes. So there is a hole in the bottom of the bed. You can choose to route it that way if you'd like, but to keep them kind of more out of the way and away from any potential damage from throwing things in here, we're going to go ahead and remove these little covers on the front of our bed here with our clip removal tool. Go ahead and pop that out. Then we're just going to go ahead and route our drain tubes down under here. And that kind of keeps this area free from any potential damage that you might have when you throw something back here. Then we'll do the same thing for our other one. So now we've got our foam backing strip here lined up on the front of the bed. Now I've got the one side laid just inside of the outer bed rail. And then we're gonna go ahead and see where the other side lands and grab our angle cutters and go ahead and trim that down. Again, you can use scissors or whatever you have. No big deal. So now that we have that trimmed down, we'll go ahead and remove that cover from our adhesive strip. And we'll go ahead and begin laying this out. Start at this end. Keep everything centered. Get the rest of that strip off. So now we'll go ahead and lay our cover onto our rails. We'll go ahead and lay this on. Make sure it's set in our rails. Go ahead and push it as far forward as possible. You need to fold your weather stripping up. Pick that up and land in front of your cover on that foam backing. Then we can go ahead and unhook our latches here. Again, folding our cover back. Go ahead. Make sure that sits how we want it and it doesn't interfere with our tailgate. So now we have to come under here and line our front mounting tabs that are on our rails up with the holes that are pre-drilled in our tonneau cover. So we've got these lined up. We've got the same for the other side, and then we'll come out and put our mounting bolt through the top of our tonneau cover, and then come back in, add our hand nut, and tighten everything up. So now we'll go ahead and take our front mounting bolt, drop that straight through this pre-drilled hole. Maybe a little tight. We'll go ahead and get that through our front mounting latch, and we'll do the same thing for the other side. We'll come back under, tighten that up. Now we've come back underneath and we've got our hand nut, our flat washer, and our lock washer. So what we're going to do is get our flat and lock washers on. And go ahead and get our hand nut on. Go ahead and tighten that down. Go ahead and have that as tight as we can. Then we're going to go ahead and add our cotter pin into our stud as our safety. Then we'll do the same thing for the other side. So now we're going to set our middle and rear locking latches. So we have our brackets already on our rails. So just lift up a hair. Go ahead and slide this over. We're looking to get it right here in between our locking mechanism on our tonneau cover and the actual tonneau cover. So we're going to go ahead and push that in. Get this lined up. Then we can pull that down. And that's going to lock in. And then we'll do the same thing for the other side, and we can tighten these down, and that'll set our middle locking point. So now that we have our middle locking section set, we're going to go ahead and tighten those down with our provided Allen wrench. Okay. Then we'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we can go ahead and get our rear section set. Bring that over. This time we can kind of just line them up beforehand. Set that one. Then we'll make sure the other side is set. We can go ahead and tighten these down even before we set them in the locking position. That's going to allow us to just close it and it'll be locked as it should be. Do the same thing over there. So now that we have our locking tabs tightened down, we can go ahead, shut our tonneau cover, shut our tailgate, and then we can double check to see if we need to make any adjustments forward or backward to our tailgate.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of this rough country, low profile, hard trifle tonneau cover fitting all 2019 and newer Sierra 1500s with the 5.8 foot short box and without the CarbonPro Box. And you can find this right here on AmericanTrucks.com.